games tipping off within the next hour. But we're here to get you ready for the Knicks and the Rockets. No Kristaps Porzingis, no Enes Kanter, but maybe someone else goes off for the Knicks, right?
Well, I think it has to be that way. When you lose arguably your best player, they always say next man up. When a lot of the guys on the bench say, okay, guys, it's the opportunity for me to step up and get an opportunity to make shots. But Dave, you've been around the game a long time. Can you stay within the system and not do too much and still have a good game?
Yeah, sometimes you're going to build some bad habits in a game like this, because if you're Tim Hardaway, there is no bad shot tonight.
Right.
They're counting on him tonight to really carry an unfair burden, and he's going to take some shots he may not normally take.
Griff, from a front office perspective, how much input do you have in guys like Kristaps Porzingis, second of a back-to-back, playing against the Houston Rockets? Does that come from the coaching staff or come from you in the front office?
I think all organizations are different, and a lot of it depends on the players you're talking about as well. Really, veteran players are going to be in a different course, and you're going to be monitoring their minutes and load in a different way. A young player like Kristaps, who's proven he has a chance to be elite, as a front office, you're probably going to treat him with a little more kid gloves, and I think you've seen that happen with Anthony Davis in New Orleans as well.
I just think that's the new NBA, where the old NBA we were teasing before we came on air, where a guy would have to continue to play through those war wounds, so to speak. But now in the new NBA, you don't want to break a guy's body down. You want to make sure he's healthy for the big picture, so you're not mad at the Knicks if they're doing this for the big picture.
The Knicks taking away their firepower, the Rockets bringing some back. There's Willie Hernan-Gomez, might get some playing time, extra playing time tonight. But Chris Paul, here's a guy who's played in a couple of games now since battling his injury. 9 assists a game, 17 points, shooting 50% from three-point range. Seems very comfortable getting back on the court for the Rockets.
Yeah, Chris, very comfortable and understanding who he is in this new system. I think a lot of people maybe overreacted. Chris Paul and James Harden be on the same floor. Would it work out? Let's go back to today. There's two guys that know how to play basketball. Yes, your numbers may be tweaked a little bit, but both guys know how to play. Both guys can catch and shoot. And talking to Chris Paul a few weeks ago for Players Only on the road, he said he hadn't had this much fun since Wake Forest. And I said, whoa. I mean, that D'Antoni system really does make you feel young and make you feel vibrant, want to play good basketball.
Yeah, I mean, Mike's going to make the game simple for you. You know, your job with Mike is really to play hard, to share the ball, and grip it and rip it. And when you've got a native feel like James and CP do, the game becomes very easy. There are no bad shots for Mike. The only bad shots are the open ones you don't take.
George Karl used to say, I can't stand the ball stoppers.
Yeah.
That's the opposite of what's happening in Houston with Chris Paul back. You're seeing even more ball movement.
Yeah, and I think it's special when you see what they're doing from the three-point line with Chris. The ball moves much quicker, that quick second pass there. They're shooting 43% from three when Chris is on the court and only 34 and change when he's not. He makes a read here cross court. It's a very difficult pass, and it's one that shooters love that. You know that.
That's right.
It's in the pocket.
That's right. And also, too, with Chris Paul being back, he's another guy that's attacking the defense, so that's why those shots, and that, to your point, why that diagonal pass is open, because he's breaking down his man. The big guy has to step up. That weak side low guy has to load down, and that's why that pass is wide open.
And shooters love to run the court to get that open shot. The Rockets have a pace that is on pace that we haven't seen in a long time.
Well, they love to get that shot when it's in the pocket, right? They don't want that shot at the feet. They don't want that pass at the feet. And they want to play at a pace that keeps that moving. And so the cleaner the passes, the better the looks, the easier it is to do that.
And it's funny, too, Dave, when you hear Coach D'Antoni saying that the Rockets want to be in top 10 in defense, well, you have to play some type of defense. And I think sometimes the numbers get a little skewed. If you're not getting stops, you're not getting that transition three. So they are playing better defense. I don't know if you try to say you want to be top 10. Just be more consistent at what you do on the defensive end.
A lot of Chris Paul talk. James Harden leading the NBA in assists and points. Last guy to do that, tiny Nate Archibald. We've heard this a few times over the last few years. But can James Harden keep this up? And who's his biggest competition to stop him from accomplishing his feat?
Well, I think maybe his teammate.
The guy we just talked about. Yeah.
That's the one I think people are not thinking about, obviously, because the ball's in James Harden's hands so much, and it's either high pick and roll, you get an alley-oop dunk or a three. But now with Chris Paul back, I think the scoring stay there, but the assists will probably come down some.
And the way the Cavs are set up right now, with LeBron playing as much of the ball-dominant play creator as he is, he's going to be a threat to have that assist crown as well.
Yeah, also, James Harden not exactly playing the same amount of minutes as Tiny back in the day. Look at that. 46 minutes a night. Now we get a guy up 35, 36 minutes, like, hey, you need to get that down. So just for the younger audience out there to understand the kind of players that were around back in the day, Tiny playing 46 minutes a night.
Tiny was one of those guys, when you watch some of these highlights, that being a lefty in that era really caught people off guard at his size. We're talking about pace. He played at a fast pace back then when pace wasn't really talked about.
No question. And his game natively lent itself to attacking, and it was unusual. At that time, a lot of what was being done was more of a swing play in the perimeter, and he was going right into the teeth of it. He's averaging 46 minutes a game in an era where they're flying commercial, by the way. Keep that in mind. These guys weren't taken care of like they are now either.
That's right. No, and it's fun to get the younger generation to understand that. Now, I will throw one more name in there. Maybe, Russell Westbrook finally figured out. You say to yourself, he averaged a triple-double last year, and you give him Paul George and Melo, you would think he might get those assist numbers back up again. So maybe throw him in the mix.
So he could be someone in the mix as well, but maybe, and this is playing devil's advocate here, right? Chris Paul is good for James Harden to get a lot of assists, right? Because he can hit the open shot. So having a guy like Chris Paul back, Eric Gordon, Ryan Anderson, I mean, can James Harden keep these assists up, and can the Rockets just have two guys in the top 5 in assists per game at the end of the year?
I believe they can because, to Dave's point, they're willing to share. And I think that's the part which makes Golden State so great, which makes this system so great, because you always have at least 4 guys on the floor that can flat out knock down jump shots. The only guy that's not knocking down threes is either Nene or Capella. All the other guys on the floor can knock down shots.
Yeah, and Mike really revolutionized the way the game was being played with the 7 seconds or less, and that team would have been 25th in the league at pace, I think. What he's done is really made the game easy for everybody. Sharing comes natural when you know you're going to get the next open look. You don't have to hold on to the ball because you know you'll get the ball back.